On the 21st of February 2019, my son was kidnapped from school in the middle of the week, in the middle of the semester, and taken away urgently to Zurich. Allegedly, I was supposed to leave the country. The court knew that I'm a student. The court knew that at the time I was working, and I had no benefit in leaving a country since I was about to get a diploma from a school that costed me $60,000. So since then, I tried in every way to get a hearing from the court and tell them that I was not about to leave the country. However, the court didn't allow me to speak or to try to make the son come back until the 29th of April. Even if I appealed in the higher court and paid 1,000 francs in taxes just to be heard from the higher court, and the higher court judged that there was a lack of justice in my procedure, the court didn't have any intention of meeting me. So on the 29th of April, finally, I thought I can fight back and get my son back, because this was a kind of a misunderstanding. However, the court started saying that actually we were not there to discuss the return of my son, but we were there just to discuss how much I was allowed to have access to him. And basically the judge said that it is my fault that my son was kidnapped from school, that he took notes about me even in the previous 5 years, and said that he wrote about me that I'm a stubborn person, and that I don't accept the reports that the court issued to me, that I'm very critical about everyone, that nothing is good for me, that I changed so many lawyers, and that if I don't get a wake of conscience about my behavior, that I will not even ever get my son back. So this procedure, actually, the kidnapping, happened exactly 1 or 1.5 weeks after I asked for a change of judge, because since 5 years this judge was discriminating me in court. I left a violent man, and asked for protection in court, and I wanted to terminate my relationship. What happened is this guy in denial started making up false things, like I was too much going out, I was too much attentive on the son, one day I was crazy, the next day I was exhausted, my family can't watch my son, 2 doctors, they are really not good, they're too old, let's get rid of them, and so on and so on. And kept on writing letters, just making up whatever, without zero proof. And so the judge one day said, "Oh, let's send her to a psychologist." And he sent me to a psychologist, not even close to my place. And I got a false report of 16 pages of total bullshit. My parents supposedly were living on the road, 2 doctors with two doctorates. I was described like a wannabe famous, I don't know, wannabe social, whatever. Actually, the only positive thing that this psychologist saw in me was that I was a professional in playing piano, and this was the only compliment I got in 16 pages, really. And yeah, I wanted to reply to this report, but actually I understood that this is not possible. That these reports are like a law, that you cannot question that, and blah, blah. And so the first lawyer didn't want to reply to that. I took another lawyer and I said, look, this is completely false. Now they are treating me in court like I'm crazy. This is not just. And I want to choose myself, a psychologist, and then question this one. Nothing happened. I couldn't question this report. I changed 2 lawyers and I didn't succeed in changing this report. So the judge started writing, yeah, you are really fragile, but in the same time I'm even conflictual because I questioned this report. And at the same time, the school of my son starts writing how I lack empathy. However, I study in the field of medicine, and I could not be a therapist if I was to lack empathy. Actually, at the time, I even read books about it, and actually, scientifically, it's not possible to say that someone lacks empathy for many reasons. However, and this was said by a director of a school who doesn't know me. He saw me 5 minutes, but he started writing how I lack empathy. And after that, the psychologist took this on, the judge took this on, everyone started saying she lacks empathy, until I wrote them with proof, scientific proof from a psychological point of view, that this is total crap what they are saying about me. And since then they stopped saying that I lack empathy. At least I had one result. And then another second evaluation by a psychologist, of course, chosen again by the judge. And I asked my lawyer to come with me because I was sure that there would be a false report again, of course, because this doesn't happen for somehow for a coincidence. And my lawyer didn't want to come with me. And then I went anyway. And what I get at the end, I get a report again false. Before the final day of the report, the psychologist told me how I'm healthy, there is no reason to go there, and blah, blah, blah. And the next day, the social services called her and they are very angry, and they write me that the tests that they did, they are not valid, this is not possible. And then in the end, she must have some kind of paranoia. However, the test of the personality diseases and all was false. I mean, there was nothing, of course. And however, this second report was shorter, but quite damaging and completely not scientific. So I wanted to question the second report again. I wrote to the different offices for psychologists, for doctors. No one replied. After some time, I sent again a letter, and then the office for the cantonal doctor in this canton replied to me that such reports don't have any value because they are done inside the procedure of divorce, and so they're not like a health, how can I say, a health proceeding. They're just a report that doesn't have any medical meaning, and that's why they don't even care if it's true or false. It's not like a cure. And however, in court, this report is like holy, I don't know, something that you cannot like question. Anyway, after the second report, I changed another time the lawyer, of course, and then with the hope that some lawyer will somehow help me, you know. But no one is still able to help me. And so, then I asked for the change of judge, and they kidnapped my child. And on the 29th of April, finally, they tell me that I'm stubborn, that I'm difficult. If I want my son back, I have to go again to a psychologist. of course, not a psychologist of my choice. And even my son has to go to the psychologist. And at this point, I don't go along with it anymore. I won't go to a psychologist. And I will do whatever I can that these people go to prison. However, the Swiss law doesn't allow me or anyone else to remove a judge or to get someone have a fine or get fired at least. And many kids will suffer from these people who are really dangerous for the community. So I decided to make this video and straight say what the situation is here, because this country is promoting itself like it's like a human rights paradise. I don't understand where I'm living. Sometimes I wake up and I ask myself, is it in Switzerland that I'm living? Where the fuck I am? I can understand why, since I have a Swiss citizen, I'm treated like an Eastern European bitch. I don't understand why it's a problem that I wanted to go on holiday with my son, and my son was taken away from me because I wanted to go to my roots for a holiday. And I don't understand why, when you provide proof of a violent man, the state doesn't help you. They have a lot of offices, like they want to listen to you. They have a lot of psychologists in every of these offices. They don't have a single lawyer for free. Nothing. They just have many, many offices that help someone. I don't know how they help. Just talking. Talking doesn't remove you the problem. It just makes you remove maybe the anger if you're angry or something, but doesn't at all help you in any practical way. So I ask myself, do we have human rights? How is it possible that a woman that doesn't smoke, doesn't use drugs, doesn't drink, how is it possible that a child gets removed like this in such a violent and criminal way? And how is it possible, after 2 months of not allowing her to be heard, that she has to still be visiting her son, supervised, like this is done just for pedophiles or drug people, okay? So I have to be supervised because I'm stubborn to see my own child for 4 hours a week, and not even, because this was not even possible. And now this super cautionary measure, impossible to stop until the hearing. Well, I was heard, and still this super cautionary measure is still on the go. How is this possible? What do you think? How is it possible that a woman gives birth to a child and somehow the child is not hers? I mean, it's unbelievable. I make an example. There's another woman here that lost her newborn to a guy who was just an adventure. And they just dated like very shortly. They were not married. And the state of Switzerland removed her child from her just upon some made up stuff that this guy made up about her. And this woman is a Russian model. Okay, she's not Swiss, but she is not a criminal. She is not drugged. She is not psychological damaged. And still the child, since many, many months, is away from its mother. This is like something so damaging psychologically for a newborn. that it's even difficult to describe how damaging this procedure will be for this child and the mother. And how is it possible that this woman is so bad, but at the same time she has another child who is going to Oxford and who is not removed from her? However, she's bad for the newborn. And they want to make her psychological reports, of course, again, just to make her spend a little bit of money for no reason, because no one ever showed that she has some kind of problem. It's just enough that some man comes and makes up whatever about the woman, and children get kidnapped by the state. Well, think about this next time you give birth. And understand why this cruelty, why such supervised visit. At the end, the father could see the son the whole weekend, every weekend. They even extended his visiting times to every weekend. I didn't have any time to play really with my kid. And when they give the kid to him, I get supervised visit of only 4 hours a week. Not even respected. In Switzerland. So on the 29th of April, I understood why. This was done just to entrap me, because this way the state has now another report, and it was done without my consent. And this time they were actually evaluating my parental skills. Of course, falsely. So basically, my son doesn't have any chance to come home, and I don't know how to help him.